Good afternoon and welcome to Accounts Central Services. My name is Marco Schena, and today I'm going to take you through automating a workflow, and that is an incoming invoice from a supplier being sent to your data extraction software. So I'll just share my screen. So what we've got here is we've got a demo invoice coming in, which I've created. It's from North Star Industrial Supplies, and it is to our company. And the invoice comes in on the email, just like most invoices from most suppliers these days. And what we do is we use a data extraction software to extract that data and then send it to our Xero accounting file. In today's example, I'll set up a rule that goes from Microsoft Outlook, and that will be sent through to HubDoc. But if you're using Dext, you can also do that as well. So what you do need in order to do this is your HubDoc or Dext designated email address. And I have got it here ready for this demonstration, but this is how you do it. So you get the email from your supplier. You take note of a few things. What sort of layout does it come in? What is the heading? What references do they use? Because we need this to set up the rule efficiently. So I'm going to demonstrate this both from the web-based Microsoft Outlook and also the PC-based Microsoft Outlook. I do recommend always setting it up from the web-based version, because then that will send in the background. For example, if your PC is off or your computer's off, sorry, or you have Microsoft Outlook closed on your computer, and that way it gets to Dext or HubDoc more quickly, and therefore it'll be more likely to be ready for processing in your Xero file. So if you click on the email that you want to create a rule about, and then you go to the cogwheel up the top and then go to rules, and then if you click on add a rule, and what we're going to do here is I'm just going to open it up on the side screen so I can access some of the information. So we know that this invoice comes from North Star Industrial Supplies. So I'm just going to set up a rule name invoice to HubDoc. Okay, and we're going to set a condition. So it wants to know what conditions should it look for. Well, if this is the layout from your supplier, North Star Industrial Supplies, then generally the layout is fairly standard each time it sends an invoice. So this company puts their company name in the subject line. So we're going to also do that as well. So we're going to do subject includes North Star Industrial Supplies. What else can we add? And so the more detail the rule is, the more accurate it'll be, because you don't want, for example, I don't know, an advertising email coming in from North Star, like with a new product, or they might be chasing payment, or they might be sending a work order or some other email or correspondence to be going to HubDoc or Dext unnecessarily. So they also put in their headline, and also in the body of the email, they put in tax invoice, which is a good clue that it's going to be an invoice. So I'm also going to add another rule, and that is that the subject or body includes the words tax invoice. And I'm going to add another condition, is that it has a attachment. So we're going to click on the rule has an attachment. Okay, so they're the three main things I could look out for. I want to avoid, like, say, for example, you wrote back to this supplier and said, oh, you know, you've sent me the wrong stuff, and then they email you back. I want to avoid another email going to HubDoc or Dext. So I think with those three items, especially because you've got the attachment, because generally on any subsequent emails, the attachment usually doesn't get resent, so it shouldn't get resent to your data extraction software. And next action is, what are we going to do with it? Well, first of all, we want to send it. So we want to forward it. And it's very important to forward it to and not forward it as an attachment. So the difference is forward to is just as if you were to push forward, the attachment goes with it. If you do forward as attachment, then the actual email goes in as an attachment, and some data extraction softwares do not open up email attachments. Like HubDoc does not do that. However, Dex does. But to be more cleaner, just use forward to, and then you need to put in your designated HubDoc or Dext email there. So I'm going to put in mine. And the other thing I want to do is just add a category. So every time I send an email to HubDoc, in my email box, it gets flagged with an orange code. And that is just to tell me at a quick glance that this invoice has actually been sent to HubDoc already. So that's that one. And then that's it. Your rule is now set up. So every time an invoice comes in from North Star Industries, it'll get sent as long as it says tax invoice and it has an attachment, it'll be forwarded onto HubDoc and it'll get coded orange. And I'm going to save that rule. And now I'm just going to demonstrate that rule and how that works. So I'm going to just pretend that another one's coming. Let's just call it 2, just for the example. I just want to show you that now that that's set up, when this invoice comes through, that it'll automatically go to HubDoc. So I'm going to resend that to myself. And now if I go into the rules, into my inbox now, so here's the second invoice coming in now, and it's now got this orange code, okay? And that just demonstrates to me that, oh, that's already gone to HubDoc. And it actually says there that it was forwarded to, it doesn't say who it was forwarded to, but we know from the rule that it went to HubDoc. I just want to show you in my actual emails as well. I'll just refresh this. And again, you see this forward and the orange telling me that it's gone to HubDoc, and that's just a color that I use in my business. And if you want to set it up on your PC version of Microsoft Outlook, which is totally fine, I do, as I mentioned earlier, I do recommend you do it on the web-based version, because regardless of if your computer's on or off, the rule will get applied. And the other issue is if you ever have a computer issue, like for example, your computer blows up or something, it's better if the rules are set up on the web rather than on your PC. Some of them will import across, but sometimes there are some issues. If you want to set it up on Microsoft Outlook in the PC-based version, just if you go to your home option, and then under rules, and then you can do create a rule, and it's the same process. In Outlook, the PC-based version, it will pre-populate some suggestions. So the same thing, I'll set this up. Subject contains, so we want the subject to contain the company that's sending it. And we're going to do advanced options after that. And so what else? We want the body or the subject to say tax invoice in this case. So you select it there and then click on the option in the blue, and then you can edit that. So we'll add that one and remove that one. So it's got to say tax invoice down the bottom. Okay, and that will update there. It needs to have an attachment. So if you find which has an attachment, and then click on next, and now it says, what do you want me to do with the message? So again, we want to assign a category color to it. In this case, I just use the orange. And then what else do we want to do with it? We want to forward it to people or a public group, but not as an attachment, just forward it straight. And then I'm just going to grab my, okay, I don't have that in my clipboard at the moment and it won't let me access it. So I'm just going to type it, HubDoc.Marco. Let's just assume this is correct, okay? Just to save time. So we would put the HubDoc email in there, and then we click on OK, and then we click next. And are there any exceptions? I'm not using any exceptions this time, but you could go through those. Some of these may apply. And next, and then you would just save it, invoice to HubDoc. Okay. And if it's a new rule and you want to apply it to any emails in your inbox already, you click on that and it'll forward those. And you turn it on now, and then you click on finish, and then you're right to go. Hopefully this video has been helpful. Thanks for watching and supporting the channel, and happy bookkeeping.